fireworks, bombs, gunshots were all going off at the historic debate we just went to. Damn. We just witnessed.
We went fuck Donald Trump. Watch, we observed.
Yeah. It's late right now. We are recording this right after the debate. We have some folks watching. Do y'all want to make some noise? Hey, come on. And this is our immediate response. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And back to my right.
It's a miracle.
All black, like the Omen. Dressed in all black like the Omen. It's a little Kim.
It's a little Kim, yeah.
A little Kim lyric.
I want to let y'all know I'm here, so I don't get fined.
Okay.
But it's your girl Miracle, aka Big Blessing with the Big Blessings, aka Mugshot Miracle.
I just noticed your nails too. You gonna put some.
I'm a wreck for my people. But they're really cute because I wanted something obviously in the colors of freedom, but also because fall's coming, Halloween's coming.
Yes.
I actually did these two. I added this because it was like too plain for me. Okay. But it's little razzle dazzle.
Little razzle dazzle. Okay. Little debate razzle dazzle.
Little debate razzle dazzle. Yes.
And my brother.
It's your boy Trouble NLS. Excuse me if niggas look sleepy.
Yes.
Never like supremacy, next level shaman, all that. And sir.
Supreme Asiatic Intelligently Divine, the revolutionary but gorgeous, the gorgeous gaslighter, the toxic one from Toronto. All that.
And you've had a day, right?
I've
had
a year, my
criminal love connection, possibly. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
that's coming out on a post.
Miracle ain't the only one with the affinity for those that have criminal records.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a
we gotta stick together, innit?
That's my twin over there.
Let's go, best friend.
So before we get into the clips, and there's a lot of them, just general what is your first reaction? My first reaction it was wild to me that Donald Trump was darker than Kamala Harris.
I thought that shit, man. I thought that shit.
How is he darker than her? You know what I'm saying?
Is that blackface?
I mean, orange face, definitely. Yeah. Orange face. Yeah. And she did not call him orange. I wanted her to talk about his I wanted her to bring out a wet wipe and just, wipe all that orange off your face. Yeah. I wanted her to do that. She did not do that. That was my first reaction. And I also liked how Kamala rolled up on him. She walked directly over to Donald Trump.
She ran down on him?
Because we know, he's intimidated people in the past. And he tries to do that handshake where he, tries to rip y'all. She rolled right over there. She was ready, made that dude. She said, I'm Kamala Harris. What's up? Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that energy. I like that.
It's RNS.
Yes. Miracle? You're first?
Last.
You want to go last? Farouk? First thoughts? Yes.
She looked amazing.
Oh my
days. She looked amazing. Makeup was right.
Yes.
The silk press is flowing. We about to see silk presses come back when she get into the White House. Listen, everybody gonna have the silkies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna go mad. Nah, but I thought, that was a 90-minute autopsy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she really she jumped in her full prosecutorial bag.
Yes.
And was looking at this nigga yo, I got targets set on you.
Yes.
I'm finna yam this food.
Yes.
And anything you say can will be held against you in a court of Kamala.
Her faces were also hilarious.
Oh yeah, yo,
her facial reaction.
Yeah.
Were something. Were a time, and they obviously memed all of those things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was incredible. Trouble.
I found it fascinating how Trump very rarely answered a question directly.
Oh, absolutely.
And they had to re-ask it to him.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
But that's part of the course.
Yeah, but I also enjoyed the fact that he did that because it shows us this is the person running for president.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of tired of all of the talking points that Kamala had at the end.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just been using that same speech over and over again.
Yes.
It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me it doesn't move anything in me. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it brings more questions than it does peace.
It's definitely she's trying to put this big tent up, right? And so oftentimes when, like we've seen in the past, when politicians do these big tents, like we always end up in the back of the tent, right? Yep. We always end up like the last in line, and our stuff haven't been addressed. I mean, we've seen that under the Biden administration, right? Mm-hmm. That it was really black people in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Atlanta, Georgia, and Wisconsin, Milwaukee, that actually propelled Biden to victory. But when it came time for us to get ours, oftentimes like we're pushed to the back, you know, and it's always this thing about, but when it was Trump winning, it was like, oh, these rural poor white people, what do they need? And then how do we get it to them? So I can feel that. I can feel that like big tent stuff can feel a little bit hollow. Miracle, you are the person whose opinion counts the most.
Don't.
How much did you get for tonight, Miracle?
I didn't get any because obviously.
Oh, right, because she was in Pittsburgh with you.
Who?
The whole week, Kamala prepping.
Irrelevant, no, because
prepping for Philadelphia.
If I was prepping, her answers would have been better.
Oh, shoot.
Number one. No, because I do think that like what Trevor was saying is that there were some times where she could have tweaked her answer a little bit and taken it home.
Yes.
The first thought was like, I like that people were laughing and I love watching the crowd's reaction to this debate.
Yes.
My second thing was like, no one should have had that reaction because this is a debate about the leader of the free world and it shouldn't have been like a comedy show.
Yes.
And it's what it turned into because obviously we are in the twilight zone.
Yes.
I would say, is that more of an indictment or an assessment of the political sphere now of where we are versus where we were 20 years ago? The fact that we can have these comedic reactions in real time to a debate versus what it should be?
So what I will say is when Obama became president, he was disrespected and disparaged so much that it actually lowered the respect of the office of the president.
Oh, wow. That's a great point.
Because of that basically ushered in a Trump.
Yes.
Had people actually respected Obama and had like Fox News and the Republicans actually respected the man and who he was and the position he had, I don't think we would have ever had a Trump. But when they were based like, he has a tan suit, anyone can run for president. Well,
that's
that we had anyone. And now we're like trying to like claw our way back to somehow being like legitimate and serious and an actual institution that people should like value and respect. But it's like now people will just come and watch for the train wreck.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's funny because like the one thing Trump has been saying quite often is that all the world's leaders are laughing at Americans now. It's like, newsflash, buddy. It's been happening for a long time prior to this.
Well,
Americans are laughed at the world over outside of a presidential race.
But I think, obviously, like Donald Trump, I mean, I did text somebody, this would be funny if this dude couldn't actually win. Like, and that's the scary part because it does become funny when he talks about cats and dogs being eaten. Did you want to play the clip, Farouk, of Trump talking about cats and dogs?
United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. This is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason,
it's supposed to be Haitians.
Well, so
Can
now
I just say, out of all the ethnicities in the world, to go against, the last ethnicity I'm picking is Haitian.
I mean, you know,
just
history
like
would say
people you want like,
Napoleon's downfall. Yes, I mean history would say
go
that.
Against.
Yes.
Why are you lying and moving against Haitians? It makes absolutely no sense. But this is like 2 weeks ago, it was Venezuelan gangs taking over.
Yes.
Now it's Haitians eating cats and dogs. And it's like xenophobia on like 1,000.
Yes.
And it's like, stop lying. Like this idea that you can't sit there and say your immigration policy sucks. If you don't want immigrants and refugees, you probably should stop bombing countries and creating immigrants and refugees.
Yes.
But because you can't say that, you decide to demonize the people
who
are fleeing to America to have a better way of life because you bombed their country, killed their leaders, let corporations like steal all the resources.
Yes.
And now we're like, Haitians are doing this.
And
immigrants are doing this. Refugees are doing. It's like stupid.
Right. And just a few years ago, was it 2 years ago? Haitians were being lassoed at the border. Like,
I remember that.
Yeah, they had like the immigration, the ICE people on
horses.
Horseback.
Yes, I remember that.
Border patrols on horseback, lassoing and hog tying Haitians.
Yeah,
and now they're doing this awful voodoo stereotype trope.
Yeah,
they're eating cats and dogs and using them for witchcraft or whatever it is.
And it was like a picture of, and it doesn't, again, like you can't tell in the picture what the race of the person even is. And this picture was a guy that was like holding like a goose or something. And the person who took the picture actually said this wasn't Springfield, Ohio. Mm-hmm. This was Columbus. This wasn't a Haitian person. But again, the internet takes something and they run with it. Yeah. And then again, Trump doesn't care if it's true or not. It fits his narrative. Right. And they actually fact checked him on the show. Could you play that? Right, they actually, ABC News, I guess, hearing the critique of the last debate, came with some fact checking.
Yeah. I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield
on television.
So it has to be true. I've seen it on television.
Yeah,
so it has to be true. Yeah.
Again, I think that. So that actually, and of course, Twitter and the internet's going to do what it does. So we got mad. There's memes of like Trump holding cats or protecting cats. And then, we're going to go to the other side and people are taking pictures of their dogs. So it does become
What if
funny.
Trump starts saying cat lives matter?
Oh, shit.
My God.
Cat lives
matter would be crazy. And he got a black cat. What if he had a black cat up? He's like, cat lives matter.
I think we have a title.
You're welcome.
To the podcast.
I'll be here all night.
Cat lives matter.
Cat lives matter. Yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, where's Cat Daddy? There he is.
I think it's very interesting how much animal imagery is changing this election.
True.
First, it was like childish cat ladies.
Yeah, right.
Now they're eating the cats and dogs. It's just like wild.
Is it maybe? What if it's the childish cat ladies eating the cats?
Wow. I mean, and then we have, we have a Taylor Swift endorsement
with her cat.
Taylor Swift is holding a cat in her picture. Taylor Swift says...
There's a joke in there that I'm not going to make.
Yeah. Like many of you, I watched the debate. Thank you, Farouk. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now's a great time to do your research on the issues and at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about the proposed policies and plans for this country.
Stop.
Recently, I was made aware that AI Me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It was posted by Donald Trump. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for the election. As a voter, the simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. What's the truth, Taylor? Taylor says, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election.
Yo, that might have killed him right there. That
was the final blow.
I mean, there's a lot of racist Taylor Swift fans, though. So that might, remember when Eminem came out against Bush? And a lot of his fan base kind of found themselves in like a moral dilemma. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened with Harris, with Swift. But I found it funny that Trump is so interested in these people eating these cats when he was the one grabbing them by.
Oh. Boom, boom. Give yourself
but it is it is interesting because earlier one of her closest friends, Brittany Mahomes, who
is,
Patrick Mahomes' wife,
came out as somehow a Trump supporter.
Yes.
What, really?
Somehow.
I am for sense of astonishment.
Yes. She looks
like a Trump supporter.
She does. And of course, she talked about him. His favorite meal was fried chicken. It wasn't even his favorite meal.
I remember when Patrick Mahomes was younger, he had that tweet about who was it?
I mean, but he was younger. I mean, we don't want to do. But again,
they always find each other.
She's been liking. For those that don't know, Brittany Mahomes on Instagram has been liking Trump posts. So apparently at the at the football game. They weren't sitting next to each other.
I guess now Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift.
Correct. They weren't palling it up like they had been previously.
What if Mahomes came out?
America divided.
About the.
I mean
again.
But I think it just goes to show, like, it's just a weird time. A very weird time.
I have a lot of critiques on that, but let's move forward.
Continuing on.
Yes. Again, I thought another interesting part in the debate was Donald Trump still holding on to the belief that he actually won the 2020 election. Donald Trump had came out into, lately he's been saying he lost by a whisker. Again, it didn't seem that he was being like sarcastic with it. He was saying he lost by a whisker. He said he lost by a little bit. And then Kamala Harris had.
You don't know art. You don't know.
Oh, we don't know performance art.
You don't know. Sorry.
Do you have that clip of?
And this.
No, that wasn't the clip. That was Kamala almost calling him
motherfucker.
I mean, this nigga.
This nigga. Yeah,
this nigga right here. Can you play that one more time? Because that was a time. That was a time.
Minnesota, she went out.
Wait.
Okay, now what's that? Oh, we just playing clips?
Yeah.
All right, just play a clip, Farouk, since we don't know which.
Hold on. We're gonna pull up Kamala calling this motherfucker.
And this former president, as president, invited them. And
Mama said if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything at all. But I never listened to my mom. So what I will say is this was like absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
And I think the fact that he keeps saying that he won the presidency is a signal that if and when he loses in November, he's also going to say he still won.
Yes.
And it's like, sir, you lost. And people forget that a part of his indictment was he was calling around. He was caught on a call, recorded line in Georgia, talking about find me this amount of votes. All this stuff happened. And I don't think he understood then. What he doesn't understand now is like people do not like the angry. People don't want to be angry all the time. Like, for instance, when she asked him about his healthcare plan, and they're like, 9 years later, do you have a plan? Like, the smoke and mirrors of Trump has like faded away, and people are starting to realize he actually does not have a plan for people's futures. And so they're like, hey, give us something. And he's like, go ahead, give him nothing.
And,
like,
and she was
immigrants are over here eating dogs.
Yes.
Taking over neighborhoods.
Oh, man.
And it's like, he doesn't really have anything. And I think that like in 2020, he rode a wave of anti-Blackness.
Yes.
Because people were tired and exhausted about addressing like race and racism.
Yes.
I think here he thought that like Kamala was going to run as a Black candidate.
Yes.
And she kind of hasn't, if you actually think about it.
Yeah.
She really has not leaned into race and racism. Like, one of my friends tweeted out, like, she doesn't say anything about Tyree Nichols. That trial started in Tennessee today.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
She didn't say anything about Tyreek Hill and Cashy. I forgot the people, the Dolphins.
Yes, Tyreek Hill, yes. And Calais Campbell. Yes.
And John,
both were arrested. No, both of those were arrested. I think it was just those two.
But there was also a third guy, Jay.
I don't remember.
They were not in my bracket, so I don't know who they are. But she hasn't even talked about like race and racism. And so there really isn't this thing to like connect her to say like, this is why I'm doing this racism. So all you now see is this like angry white man yelling at clouds for no reason.
Yes.
That's a funny way to put it.
So here, I'm gonna send you this clip right now. This is Trump. This clip I just dropped in, play this clip right here. This is Trump basically not acknowledging that he lost in 2020. Do you want to play that?
Weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I didn't acknowledge that at all. I said that sarcastically. You know that. It was said, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislature.
And then Kamala's response to him refusing to admit. Do you have that clip, sir?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election.
I mean, I think, again, like, she kind of came with a lot of smoke. For that, like, again, like, I wasn't sure how, because with Trump, we were talking about it, like, you don't know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to try to walk over there? He had that one point where he said, like, I'm talking, like, you should know that I'm talking. He did have that one clip. But other than that, it seemed like all of the really strong responses came from Kamala Harris, when they were talking about crime.
Which I love. I love crime.
Can you play the clip where she talked about the response to him talking about crime? I just dropped that in the chat. I have a new plan, and you just hit play.
Go with it.
Just hit play.
Rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault.
I need
and his
these
next
the bombs to be being dropped on this
appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement.
I mean, again, she called this man, she didn't use the word felon, and you know what I'm saying, which Joe Biden did. And I say that to say I spoke.
We don't know where Joe is.
Yeah, Joe. Did Joe even say?
First of all,
this is past Joe's bedtime.
Can we just talk about all the strays Joe Biden caught?
He caught a lot of strays.
He was like, I don't know. Where
even from Kamala. Kamala was like, yo, you ain't running.
We have to change the word
me.
of catching strays now, because that could mean dogs and cats.
Oh, wow.
Catching strays to put in the pot and get your girl on.
Listen, yo.
Lord have mercy.
But you know what's dangerous about that is, like, Trump has leaned into so many different racist tropes.
Right.
And like, if they talk so much about COVID.
Yes.
I was just waiting for him to say that Asian people was eating dogs and cats. I'm like, oh, fuck.
But again, he's leaning. That's what he was doing. But I thought what I was going to say was, I was at a conference in Florida, and I had a conversation with Desmond Meade. For those that don't know, Desmond Meade is somebody who was formerly incarcerated, and he really led the effort in Florida to get the voter rights restored for formerly incarcerated folks in Florida. And he said he felt a certain type of way about Joe Biden using the word felon in the way he did.
Yeah.
As somebody who was formerly, he
like, your son isn't one, Joe?
But I thought, like how Kamala said it, she didn't say felon. She just was like, yo, you being prosecuted.
Yeah.
You got indicted. You know what I'm saying? You, like, the way she did it, I think also, to me,
she said, this is what I do for a living, and you look real familiar.
Debate prep.
I think it's a reflection of her listening. And again, she has moved and listened on everything except for one issue. And I think it just shows.
What's that issue, Miracle?
You already know what that issue is.
For those that don't.
Yes.
Okay, so we can move on to that conversation. I do think that it shows that she has been responsive to everything except the genocide in Gaza, the war between Israel and Hamas, geopolitical issues, whatever you want to call it, because, the Cato Institute came out earlier in the week, and they said that basically over 60% of Americans want what's going on. Not only a ceasefire, but an arms embargo.
Right.
Right. Which it was even further than a ceasefire. And then went and looked at Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, and was saying, like, in some places, like, up to like in Pennsylvania, I think it was 93% of Democrats were like, we're over this.
Yeah.
Right. And then higher or 93 it was one of those two of independents. And so what I would have liked, because I don't think you don't have to switch sides, right? To be more sympathetic and to sit there, say policy changes can happen and safety can happen, right? I think had she said, you know what, I will always, stand and defend Israel. But what has happened since October 7th has been a violation of my red line. I believe that in order to keep Israel safe, we have to have a ceasefire. We have to have an arms embargo. We have to find a way for the killing to stop. This violence must end. And what just happened in the West Bank with, I don't know how to say her name correctly.
Yes,
with,
an American citizen
being killed
was killed in the West Bank, right?
Shows there's way too much bloodshed. And as president, I am going to do A, B, and C to get this to stop, to get the hostages home, to find a way for, Israelis and Palestinians alike. That could have been bringing, even though it's not as far and quote unquote radical as I would have wanted to hear. I think that is something she could have done to pivot away from Biden, to show that she understands what's going on. You have I think it was almost 1 million Israelis.
It was over 750,000 Israelis protesting Netanyahu.
Almost 1 million
protests, but they were saying that would be the equivalent if 24 million Americans would show up to one protest. That in terms of the percentage of people in Israel that were there to say they disagree with Netanyahu and wanting a return of hostages, which Netanyahu's preventing. So she could have maybe more clearly defined that outside of it.
I think when she was blaming Trump for the issues that was happening, there was a report last week that said Trump
around Afghanistan.
But there was a report last week that said Trump called Netanyahu and said, please do not accept a ceasefire deal until I become president. Right. Because it's just better for me. We even know in Michigan, the GOP is running ads targeted at Muslim voters, saying that, all Kamala cares about is Israel, but it's running as a pro-Israeli ad. So we know the GOP is...
Trump said she hates Israelis and she hates Arabs, which is kind of weird, but he said that. But again, I think...
my thing is if sometimes you got to play offense and defense.
Right.
If this is your Achilles heel, this is the thing that could take you down.
Yes.
You got to come out on the offense a little bit. And I think that this was a missed opportunity.
Right.
And I hope that she changes course correctly, because I think that the way she came at Trump over the criminal justice thing shows that she's able to amend her language.
Yes.
The way she changed the language about the sexual assault and just made it softer where you felt like you were included. It shows that she can change her language and is listening. But I do think that whether or not Biden likes her or not, whether or not, all this other stuff's happening.
They were hugged up in Pittsburgh. I don't know.
I do think that you have to play the game. If you're playing to win the presidency, you got to clear the board. And my thing is, listen, Biden, he said earlier, Biden said he was going to forgive all the student loan debt, and he did.
That's true. Right? Yeah, and he did. Yeah.
And so when you're running to win, what's popular, you lean into it, and then what happens on November 6th, who knows?
Yeah, but I also I guess my question would be particularly on that issue, because when you hear Trump's response, and I guess this is where I start to kind of again, it's because the reality is that it is, and we hope to have, we have reached out, just for full transparency. We reached out to Butch Ware, who is running as Jill Stein's vice president, to have him on the show. And because I think right now, the reality is it's going to be either Biden or, I'm sorry, not Lord have mercy.
Oh, shit.
The reality is,
October surprise. Biden's coming back.
That would be hilarious. It's going to be Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. That's the reality. And so I think that's the question then is, I like I said, I can understand somebody that's Palestinian being so upset at this administration stance that they're I want to do everything to punish this administration. But I think when you grow beyond that anger, because if it's Donald Trump, it's just an outward. But again, it's kind of the same if it's both of them at this point.
If it's Donald Trump, we're all going to be in jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it's like,
but,
is it?
It's a little bit you love crime. It's just
that's Farouk loves crime. I would rather not be in jail. Farouk and Mona love crime, okay?
I mean, I don't want to go back to jail, but you know.
No, I do think that's a real conversation that people are having.
Yes.
Because, the uncommitted movement was saying that, like, we're Democrats and we're going to vote for Democrats down ballot.
Yes.
Even if we live people are different. Some people have endorsed, Jill Stein. Some people are just leaving it blank. Everyone is processing this issue differently. But I do think, and I was having a conversation with someone earlier. Wait, I was about to say
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I always approach issues to as black people, because as black people, for instance, had Tyreek Hill been in Pittsburgh, by today we've had 4 listening sessions, lined up.
True.
We would have had a coffee with cops.
And for those that don't know, Tyreek Hill is a very famous football player that plays for the Miami Dolphins, that was pulled over on his way to the game and forced to lay on the ground face down and handcuffed. Simply because he was trying to get to the game so he could play.
Black job. He may have been speeding, but I also don't understand why speeding is such an issue in this country. But put that to the side.
Yes,
I do think that the Democrats have failed to build this big tent.
Correct. I agree.
I feel like they failed to do programming and outreach.
Yes.
And I feel like there's something that is that anger and resentment. That's what you're seeing. It's not just the geopolitical issue.
I agree.
It's the shutting out and ignoring of people. And I think that we could do better.
Yes.
I don't want, fascism to expand.
Yes.
I think in some elements fascism and Project 2025 are already here,
Correct.
especially in some of the southern states. But I do think that our governments have to be more receptive to all of us as people, because all of us, we all have to live and survive. And like Donald Trump said, people got nuclear weapons now. I'm not trying to figure out if somebody's going to be I don't feel like I like America today. And,
I'm stuck on you saying, and like Donald Trump said, I just kind of.
Everybody has nuclear weapons. Everybody, you could think about,
it's not the Cold War anymore.
But Putin could wake up and be like, I don't like y'all, boom.
True.
True. The guy in London, could be like, I don't like those people either, boom. We're in a different time.
We are.
And now it's just the end of the world could be, we really do not know for certainty if we're going to be here in a year.
And you know what else we don't know? Apparently, we still are not really sure.
That was well done.
What race
that was very well done.
Kamala is.
Oh my goodness.
We're still not very clear.
No one knows what race any of us are. We're just the human race.
What cereal box do you have to dig into to pull out the black Kamala?
We are just the human race.
Can you play that clip, sir? They asked Donald Trump
a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something, I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I
don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black.
Not black?
That she
not
put
black.
out. And I'll say that. And then I read that she was black. And that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
He just wants to know how to racially assault her.
Yeah.
Do you want hot sauce or curry? Tell me.
Yes.
Which one is it? Which one?
Yes.
Which one am I coming at you?
Which
today?
one are you putting on your cat? Are you putting?
Oh shit!
Are you putting hot sauce or curry on your cat?
Curry cat sounds crazy. Curry cat is crazy.
I'm sorry.
Oh my!
You set me up for that. I'm just saying.
I did. Yeah, I threw the alley-oop, man.
But again, I mean, any comment on
Kamala's curry cat?
I thought her response to that was fire.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Listing all of the ways
Yes.
that Trump has disparaged black people.
Yes.
Not even just as a president, but as a business owner.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And how it kind of painted this picture of he doesn't want to acknowledge my blackness because he never wanted to acknowledge and respect black people to begin with.
Absolutely. Yes, I wanted to try to find that clip because she actually pulled up the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
She kind of pulled up all of those
receipts.
Yes, all of those things in Donald Trump's face. And again, Donald Trump's response was, "Oh, that happened a long time ago." But it's so what, bro?
But I think it also was it happened a long time ago, and I'm no longer that person, or I have evolved and this. So this is the thing, you could tell he was not taking this as seriously as he should have.
Yeah.
Because a seasoned person would have been like, as your friend said, I free more Black people, since, slavery through my First Step Act. So even though you say I did these bad things, here's how I've evolved as a president or as leader. He couldn't even think about that because he's not running as an actual candidate who's trying to look on policies. He's running, as she said, to take care of himself. When you're running to like enrich your own pockets and boost and assuage your own ego, you kind of forget that you have to talk to the people that you want to vote for you.
And that was an observation that I had made, because the way he was responding to a lot of the platforms that Kamala was assaulting him on, with foreign policy, just a myriad of things, it was very evident that he doesn't know how the presidency works. Like he's there just responding to shit in a way that like a pundit would respond, or like a TV personality would respond.
Yes.
And with absolutely no substance attached to it whatsoever. And it made me question the wherewithal he has and the knowledge of actual execution of executive orders, and the responsibility of the office. And as Miracle said, not just as an opportunity to get another $400K a year put into your pocket, for in perpetuity, but you have so much responsibility when you assume presidency of the United States of America that it doesn't seem that Donald Trump understands how to wield.
I mean, I don't think he cares. I mean, I think
that also,
that was one of the points that she kept making over and over again, was like, yo, this guy only cares about himself.
Right.
Like Donald Trump only cares about himself. He doesn't care about you. Did you want to play that clip where she came with the receipts, the black receipts?
I think honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember,
it's a very all lives matter response.
How Donald Trump started. He was land. He owned land. He owned buildings.
Yeah.
And he was investigated because he refused to rent property to Black families.
Yep.
Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times.
Here it comes.
Calling for the execution of 5 young Black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
Took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first Black president of the United States.
She came with the receipts.
That's a fact.
And I think the American people want better than that.
It's kind of, to me, when I think of the debate, the moments that resonated with me were like, and again, I wasn't sure how Kamala was going to do.
She did
a really, really good job when she talked about like, yo, go to one of this man's rallies.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, I mean,
yo, go to this man's rally. He talking about Hannibal Lecter. People are leaving. Like, I felt like she brought up January 6th,
right, and
in a very strong way. Like, yo, they beat this many police officers. Police officers died. He led the charge on that. Mm-hmm. She talked about, yo, here's your generals. They're saying basically you're a disgrace. World leaders are laughing at you. Like, she really kind of came for his neck. I mean, she was smiling and respectful, but she really came at a level of like, and again, when you juxtapose this with
Pittsburgh lead in the water made her.
Oh, is that Pittsburgh? She said that Pittsburgh lead in the water.
Just made her tough as nails.
But I'm saying, when you juxtapose it with like the last debate, where like 30 seconds into it, you're like, who is this man talking? What happened to this man's voice? Like, and I remember when Biden was like, "You're this loser and the sucker," and
you're the loser.
Like,
you're the
like,
sucker.
Nah, like she really came with. So to me, like she had the most memorable lines and moments in the debate, and to me, it got to a point where Trump just seemed to be like ranting.
Yes.
Yeah, like angrily ranting.
Yeah, I mean, as Miracle said earlier, like this was kind of like not a typical debate because of how devalued the office has become. But we've already seen time and time again, you can't treat Donald Trump like a presidential candidate.
No.
Right? Like you have to throw out the entire rule book, right?
Yes.
But I think what we got a glimpse into today was how Kamala operates in her previous job. Right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of got a glimpse into that, like, okay, she's with the shits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she like you said, she came at his neck. But what I thought was also super dope is that she was unrelenting. Like, she laid the attack on.
Yes.
And she was like, not only am I going to talk my shit and look fly with the...
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But I'm going to pull all the receipts out on you.
Yes.
And then I'm going to bait you into an argument because she looked like she was luring him into shit, and she was setting gambits up for him that, for whatever reason, he didn't always fall for, but she made him look dumb every opportunity.
When you see him do that, like, smile, like, you could tell she was like getting under this skin.
Absolutely, yeah.
He seemed to be more like, his response was to be like, try to speak more forcefully or more angrily.
Yeah, she was just like, and she just curved that shit. She's like,
she did.
I will say he set her up to have the best campaign commercial, because when they were talking about abortion and he was like, she can't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have the votes.
Right.
Why would you say that?
Right.
Yes.
During an election year.
Where we can get the votes?
Where you can get,
we can get the vote. Like,
like, if I was running her campaign, that would
that's
be
the soundbite. Yeah.
That would be that's the ad right there.
We need the votes.
Up and down the ballot. We can do all this type of stuff if we have the votes.
Yeah.
If you vote abortion.
Harris
if
false.
you vote,
Do you hear this?
Election protection.
Yeah.
If you vote, student loan debt.
They were in Pittsburgh prepping for the debate.
Because my thing is, like, you also forget debates are two things. It's you defending yourself, but it's also you making sure you do not give sound bites to hurt you.
Right.
Yeah. So why are you, I was like, this is like, and again, I'm a political science geek. I studied political science in college.
You mean a soundbite like cats and dogs are being eaten?
But that, like, yes, that's going to be whatever, but people are not going to take that seriously.
Yes.
But what they're going to take seriously is a call to action. You have to give some, especially younger voters, you have to motivate them and give them something to vote for.
Right.
You have just laid out a whole campaign.
Yeah.
And you know what? You say that, they turn up, and then what do you do in January?
Even when
pass the legislation.
Yeah.
Well, she had the votes, right? You have just made a whole year campaign.
Right.
If I'm a social media manager, that's why I pray for it.
Particularly like the down ballot races that, again, like he basically was saying, like, you can't just vote for a president. All of these other races are equally important because you need Congress and Senate to pass this law. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that is fascinating that he kind of gave her that.
Like, sir, what? What are you, sir? Where are
I also thought when the sister
didn't think
sorority party was disrespectful.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
She was throwing a party with some black women. Yes, one of the oldest black sororities in America.
Again, you want to get these sororities even more hype? You want them to raise more money? Like, you want them to go out and, again, like, I mean, he really, so here was, this is Chris Wallace. So for those that don't know, Chris Wallace
the
was
greatest rapper of all time.
No, not that Chris. That's Christopher Wallace. Okay, not.
I mean, that's the only Wallace I acknowledge.
We acknowledge.
Yeah.
Chris Wallace used to be on Fox News, and so this was Chris Wallace's response, or this was his commentary about Kamala and Trump's debate performance. Can you play that?
I didn't think I was ever going to witness a debate as devastating as the one that you and Dana moderated back in June, where Joe Biden basically tanked his reelection campaign. I think tonight was just as devastating. I think that Kamala Harris pitched a shutout on almost every subject I can think of. She shut Trump down on abortion. She shut Trump down on January 6th and democracy. She shut him down on national security and turned to the former president and said, the military leaders who served with you think that you're a disgrace. And then, as Dana mentioned, very powerfully at the end, made the point that she is the candidate of change. We need to turn the page from a decade of division and polarization. On substance, I think she pitched a shutout, and I think she did on style as well.
So this was Christopher Wallace saying that Trump's performance was just as bad as Joe Biden's performance. I mean, that's
fun. If
crazy.
each time we have a bad debate, we just get
we just get a new candidate.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Actually,
who would be like if Trump? I mean, obviously it's not JD Vance. Who would it be? Would it be Nikki Haley?
Maybe.
Like who steps in for the Republicans?
Could somebody even step in at this point?
Not really.
I didn't think so. But I thought it was crazy that Kamala taunted him and she was like, "Yo, you know Dick Cheney? Yeah, he rocking with me, nigga." Dick Cheney, that nigga, he on my side.
200 Republicans,
them niggas is on my side.
Yes.
All the generals, them niggas is with me.
Yes.
Like, what are you even talking about? You know what I mean? Like, yo,
oh, those are our leaders. When you lead a room,
guess
what? When you lead a room, we all laugh at you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, corny ass nigga, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's not call non-black people Negroes.
Oh, okay.
She hit him with a 616 in LA for real.
Oh, wow.
Man, did you ever think that your Republicans are voting for me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She hit him with the Kendrick line.
That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah. It was really, again, those are the ways that she was goading him into, like, she was trying to lure him into something.
But I'm saying,
his response was, I fired all these people. Like, you haven't fired a single person. Like, and I think the response is like, that shows that in the Trump cabinet, if you disagree with him on anything, he gets rid of you.
I mean, all of these people, again, like the one general who basically said Trump called these guys suckers and losers, that said that Trump, didn't want to be by, the people, the veterans that have lost limbs. Like, this was a guy that was his chief of staff.
She said you didn't want to stand next to John McCain. She put out all the receipts on this nigga.
But again, this guy was his chief of staff for a year and a half. This was a Marine general. Again, these are, and then it's like, oh, all these people I fired them. They're all dumb. They're the dumbest. But you put them in position. If they're so dumb and so bad, like, you put all these people in these positions, none of them are supporting you now. Just like you said, they're all going for Kamala. So she did. But I guess the wow part, or the question is, like, why is it so close? I mean, like, when you watch this debate and you can clearly see, I mean, it's only really one reason.
What's the reason?
It's in the show's title, my brother.
Can't lives matter.
I think
that's white supremacy, bro. Yeah. I mean, that's the only way. Like, the only thing Trump has over her is he's white.
Right. That's and there's going to be a contingent of voters who refuse to elect a black woman to be in charge of this country.
Yes.
And this was very indicative of the same way that the election went in 2020. When all of these white people came out on the streets to protest Black Lives Matter, and they did all this performative activism and shit. And what happened? Trump ended up getting 46% of the vote in certain places. So there's no way in hell the older people that were out there chanting Black Lives Matter and up for George Floyd voted for Biden. The numbers just weren't there. You were just doing something to get out of the house for COVID, but you still wanted a white man to lead the country.
And I will also push back and say, I think Kamala needs to fire the Biden advisors.
Absolutely. You've been saying this for weeks.
On her team, because I do think they are messing up her messaging. And she has the ability to build a better team. Like, for instance, we're talking about fracking. I don't know.
Oh, watch your language. This is a family show.
I said fracking. I don't know people who say that is my top issue. But fracking, ban it, don't ban it. You could sit there and say, like, we need a diversity of clean energy.
Yes.
But I also could sit there and say, like, hey, since becoming vice president, we have found these alternative, means for renewable energies and that we've invested in.
Hamsters
so
and wheels
that fracking isn't as big as the issue as it is, right? But I do think that when we're talking about turning the page, Biden, she's got to get rid of these Biden handlers, because they're still running these like I tweeted out, like these 1980s elections. Like, we're really back in the Reagan era, because some of the people that are, whether it's her foreign policy leaders, these are people that Biden had, and she has to get rid of them because these policies are not resonating with the American people. And I think that's part of it. I think there's so much joy and excitement because people wanted something new. And at first we were told, like, she can't critique the president because she serves at the pleasure of the president. Not like that, but it is literally what is required for people to do. If you watch The West Wing, you serve, at the pleasure of the president. And so she can't critique. But then they rolled out all these other vice presidents that have critiqued presidents when they ran, or even when they were in office and had different policies. So, like, now she has that opening. And again, when Trump was like, Biden doesn't like you, he hates you, will be that as it may. If he hates me, well, then we're going to run these policies because Biden's policies have failed us. And this is my vision for the new future. I think she has to move on from that. And I think the minute she does that, she's going to get so many more people excited to knock doors and to make phone calls.
This is the issue, though.
And to fundraise.
The problem is that technically she's still a part of the Biden administration. Yeah. She's his vice president.
For another couple months
so
at least,
it's like for her wait again. And you know, if you look like there, like I sent something to the chat where it said it said food prices tumble. In August, monthly drop in online grocery prices were the largest on record. Mm-hmm. So it's like under Biden, crime is the lowest. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Gas prices are going.
I'm gonna do everything I can in the next administration to raise those. Wait,
hold on.
That's my re-election campaign.
Like, black unemployment is the lowest. Mm-hmm. You know, crime is the lowest. Gas prices are dropping. Food prices are dropping. All of these jobs were created under Biden. Hundreds of thousands of jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, you know, Trump lost more jobs. So it's like it's hard for her to say. I think she has to do a balance, right? She has to find a way to take credit for the good. And then kind of also say, however, on these certain issues, I do have a difference of opinion. So I agree you can do that. But again, like she can't all the way. And then again, who's going to be one of her biggest supporters on the campaign trail is Joe Biden. I mean, Labor Day, Joe Biden was here campaigning for her, you know, when he's available, when he gets his rest.
He said 4 o'clock.
Yes. When it's an afternoon rally, he'll be out there to support Kamala. So it's hard.
I think you stay away for the debate tonight.
But then also, Miracle, remember, at the DNC, it was this outpouring of emotion and love for Joe Biden because he did do. Now,
the right thing is step aside.
It took a lot. I mean, it took a lot.
A lot of bullying.
A lot of bullying, you know what I'm saying? But he eventually did do like what was in the best interest of the Democratic Party.
He said he was about to do 9/11 earlier, so
I'm just saying, she has to like kind of walk this, like, I feel what you're saying.
No, because when you said I couldn't go on vacation the last week of October, I told everybody you said I couldn't go on vacation. So I feel like the way I pushed back, she
recorded me saying that. She recorded me saying, but I mean, it's the week before the election, Miracle. It's all hands on deck right now. I did want to share this. This was a poll, real quick, and I'll come back to you. So this was in the New York Times. It says attacks and issues, minutes speaking and minutes of speaking time and length of attack. Kamala Harris spoke for 37.41 minutes. Trump spoke for 43.03 minutes. But Harris spent more time attacking Donald Trump, 17.25 minutes.
That's what you got to do.
To 12.54. And I loved how she called him like the Trump abortion bans. Yeah. I love how she like was tying him into. But again, Trump's still trying to battle Biden in many ways.
I mean, he was going at Obama.
He
said something erroneous about Obama, like the Obamacare Act that was done 10 years before Obama was even in office or something to that effect. I'm like, yo, my nigga, like, you are wrong on so many of these things.
Yes.
And it was great that Kamala spent this time attacking him because that's exactly what his strategy has been the entire time.
Yeah.
Is attack, call names, deflect, and not answer questions. Like, he did exactly what he's done in every single debate. It's just he got outdone at his own game.
Absolutely. It was somebody that could like walk onto the debate stage with no help. And
walk down, flip her hair, turn back, shake hands,
speak. You know what I'm saying? Just her voice was kind of
even without a respirator. Like, you know what I mean?
I do wish they had talked more about criminal justice reform. I do wish they would have talked about the marijuana legalization and more about like housing policies. I think that like she had started with her $50,000 home purchasing plan. So I do hope that the next debate they do a lot more.
Not to bring it back, but somebody said the only one eating dogs is RFK Jr. I'm just saying. That's
so I want a different style of Twitter where everything is sexual with the cat joke. So like like
oh, you're on that side of Twitter?
That's the side of social media that I'm on. So like but I hope the next debate they take
eating the cats.
Wait, hold on.
Takes on a whole new connotation.
Can we talk about? I mean, hey, listen.
Someone tweeted out all cats get eaten except for mine.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, remember
It
that?
is late at night. I guess.
Yeah, what was this? Yeah, white supremacy after dark.
On the history of this podcast, that was too far. On the history of this podcast,
obviously not.
Yeah.
Particularly the one we did earlier today.
They had said the hide your kids, hide your wife. They was like hide your cats, hide your dogs.
Oh, yes,
like
yes.
yeah, the memes have been the memes have been. Oh shit!
What?
Hold on, I don't know if anybody's gonna get this because it's not on the screen, but yo, hold up. Illegal alien to Ian.
A picture of Alf.
Oh man, you're too young for that.
That's a picture of Alf.
Alf. Oh man.
Alf. Right. Alf did eat the.
He ate the cat. You know what Alf stood for?
No.
Alien life form.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
I fucking love Alf, man. That was my nigga.
Thank you for that.
He looked like Jay Leno, but I loved Alf. Man.
So I guess this is the ultimate question as we are wrapping up.
I think it helps her. I think.
Will this matter? Will she will get a bump?
Cat
for this?
lives matter. Yes.
I think she will get a bump for this because so many people were tuned in. Even people I know who don't even pay attention to politics.
Yes.
Were tuned in. Like this is the first time we've had these events.
Yes.
There were like 15 debate watch parties today.
There was a lot.
And people were like are really interested and like okay. And you even saw people were like upset about the abortion. Like, why are you lying and say people get abortion at 9 months? And why, like,
Yes.
I was like, you can't get an abortion after the baby's born.
Yes.
Like, why would you, like,
Yeah, that's called murder. That's called infanticide, bro. Like much like what they're doing over in Gaza right now.
You know, look at you. Okay. I thought it and I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to do the podcast.
Listen.
Twin, we're here.
Come on, right?
It just took you finding a little bit of criminal love to just like bring us right back.
Bring us back.
You know,
I love crime.
Yes.
That's what it is. But
What crime can I commit tonight?
none.
Yeah, hopefully none. Yes,
Like-
hopefully none.
He keeps trying to get us locked up.
Yeah.
Like I just like,
Me, not you.
why would you ask us for
Hopefully none.
Camera, bro.
Yes.
Keep
No
the crimes off,
crime.
please.
that means
No
the
crimes.
conspiracy of forethought. Like
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
no, I'm trying to like I'm
Maybe it's just love crimes I'm committing.
Wow.
gonna
Allegedly.
you're gonna murder the.
Murder the cat.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Wow.
you know what I do.
Oh, okay.
I think it's about that time.
Wow. Is it wrap up time? Closing time. We've gone too late.
That's such a good song.
We've gone
Great
too late.
song. Great
You know
song.
what? Sometimes I go like hip hop clubs, and that's like the last song they play out, and like so many black people actually love that.
love
To
it.
Trouble and Farouk, will this change anything? Will this, like, again, we saw this horrible debate
Yeah.
actually like get Joe Biden out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, will this
Maybe
do
that-
anything for Donald Trump?
They'll kill him over.
Yeah. Didn't get him out of there the way you thought it would, but hey, you know what?
I feel like if any one of his supporters, which like I doubt there's many, can critically think, I feel like this debate definitely showed them who their leader truly was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that a lot of his debate, a lot of his constituency and his base is going to be like, oh, it was on ABC News. It wasn't a fair platform, right? They're going to use that as an excuse for his performance tonight. So they're going to say, okay, we got to run it back on Fox.
I kind of wish
well,
the
it's-
kids were here. I kind of wish the brothers were here to like.
Oh, wow.
Give,
Yeah.
like their feedback.
Is this your
afterwards.
king?
No. I'm telling you, they were talking about like hot questions, cold questions, direct questions.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see like how like they viewed the moderator. I think the moderators were phenomenal.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Yeah.
I think
Lindsay
that-
and what was the white guy's name?
I don't know. I didn't just didn't even think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good voice, though.
Lindsay looked amazing
Yes,
too.
yeah.
Okay,
But
you gotta stop.
I mean, his hair was great. His hair was, amazing.
I think they kept people on task. I think they
did.
asked
Yeah.
direct questions. Like when Kamala was trying to like answer, they're like, "Listen, we are moving on.
Right.
You did your rebuttal.
But
we
even-
can't stay here all day."
Even when Trump wasn't answering, the guy was like, yo, I'm talking about what you did during January 6th.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about Nancy Pelosi. Would you change anything? This question is about you were president. What would you
Yeah,
do?
that was-
and he kind of continued to deflect. So I thought that was strong. Yeah.
Those were
but
questions.
now, Miracle, Kamala, I guess, is on record saying, run that back.
Yeah.
That she wants to do another debate. Should Trump accept another debate at this point?
I think so because I feel like at this point the American people need to hear what policies and platforms they're going to be fighting for.
Again, Miracle, I'm saying Donald Trump debated. He's not going to say
How
any
is he gonna raise
policies.
money?
He's not. We've seen him.
He needs clips to fundraise.
But I'm saying we've seen him in 2 debates, Miracle. He's not put no policy.
But I think
they asked him. Remember, he was like, "Oh, well, I have a thought about healthcare," and they were like, "Well, what is it?" He was like, "Oh, I have some forming in my mind somewhere. I'm not president." All the
staff meetings from now. I have thoughts about metrics.
But what I would say about this is like.
Have aspirations.
Trump gave himself even more sound bites to use in the future because all of his ads have been about immigration. All of his ads have been about the border. None of it has been anything concrete policy.
Yes.
So he just got like
walls. We're in the walls.
Huh.
He said walls.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, brother. Okay. See where your mind is at. The gutter.
It's late, man. It's late.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I really think that like Trump just hit the refresh on his advertisement cycle. He gave himself a new couple clips for some YouTube ads or whatever. Do I think this is gonna help Kamala? Yeah. I mean, she looked great tonight on stage. She performed well.
Taylor Swift endorsed him.
Her husband's gonna
that's not what I mean.
You from being anywhere near her.
I mean, I'm not near her as it is now.
Yes.
Or in the future, he can be like.
In the future, who knows, right? Inshallah. But I think what Kamala did, I think Kamala did something that was great tonight. She showed the American public that who she is, that she can stand up to the face of adversity, that she can kind of look this scary orange monster in the face and not only just run down on him, but challenge him on a myriad of topics and confidently do so.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, cite policy, cite receipts. She showed that she had a memory. She showed that she had the chops to sit here and attack things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Biden didn't have the memories.
Certainly did not.
You know what I mean?
The bar was so low.
The bar was low.
It was a low bar. It was a low bar. I mean,
but she made Trump.
I think she elevated the bar, right?
She elevated the bar, definitely.
Yeah.
And she made Trump look like an old, kind of.
Would you say the old man
fighter.
yelling at the crowd?
Absolutely, yeah.
And again, I know people are going to say there is, there's debates.
What is it with him wind turbines and bacon?
I don't know.
Why does he keep going back to this?
I don't know, but
there was a point where he was rambling and the moderator was like, "All right, bro, we're going to cut you off and move on."
The third time he's equated wind turbines and bacon together, and I'm like, what am I missing?
I think that at one point
is this a Pigs Fly reference?
There was this idea that a part of the Green New Deal was going to be part of wind turbines or something. I forgot what it was actually called.
Yeah, who knows?
And that Obama was trying to do.
It was when he started talking about solar energy. He was like, "Yo, when you go to the desert and they got a big dude," it was like, "All right,
there's nothing else in the desert to do but collect solar energy, my nigga."
It was a pilot program that Obama was funding, and the Republicans I think ended up shuttering it, but was trying to figure out if wind turbines could help offset coal and green energy, and that's when people it kills the birds.
The answer,
and
yes.
Too much desert, whatever. But now we have fracking and plastics and bombs that are.
Did you know that every piece of plastic ever created still exists?
Yes, and it kills all the fishes.
That's fascinating.
And turtles.
Yes.
And we have microplastics in our
brains now. Yeah. I mean, just another so why don't we talk about some Black joy?
Some Black joy?
Black joy.
Microfibers in our brains, but the Black Joy Project.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, has a book.
That's
this is the Black Joy, Cleaver Cruz, a literary and visual love letter to how we thrive. So I guess there's some Black joy, those that felt like Kamala won. And I think that's kind of everybody at this point, feel a little Black joy, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see how that translates from now on.
Because Crumble has these little tiny mini cookies.
Oh, those mini cookies were bomb.
And that was the recipe that they needed. The big ones, I don't know. Maybe
the big ones are a little too much for me.
Them small ones.
Yes. The mini crumbles. Oh, wow. Really? You like the small ones?
It was Farouk. It was not me.
Wow. Those small ones. Get the job done.
It's the motion in the ocean. This is what they say.
Small dick. Woo. The small.
So yeah, on a more mature series.
Yes. Oh, we have
thinking got props.
Yes.
Oh. These
are books that Tamia sent us.
Who?
Yes.
Tamia got a bunch of people to send us
open this and see what's in here.
While you're doing that, we also want to definitely say rest in power James Earl Jones.
Yeah, man.
A legendary, you know what I'm saying?
He was one
iconic actor, voice actor. I mean,
2 centuries worth of voice work.
Right. But then also like Fences on Broadway.
Yeah, man.
I mean, James Earl Jones, Coming to America.
Yeah.
Lion King. I mean, just
Darth Vader.
Conan
the Barbarian.
I mean, it's just too much to name. So
Let them wait.
Yes. May he rest in peace. James Earl Jones. We love you, brother. Go ahead.
All right, we ready?
Yes. Okay,
Let's see
these are books from our esteemed social media person, Tamia.
Damn.
Whoops.
Okay, here's some.
This nigga mashing up the whole thing.
Oh.
Okay.
Mo Honey Mo Problems.
1, 2, 3.
I understand.
With the Notorious B.I.G. Oh, these are children's books.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Based on hip hop.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, this is dope.
These are very
Damn,
nice.
niggas just keep breaking shit.
Yeah, where my homies at? Oh, these are dope. These are really nice. Illustrated Black History.
I love picture books because I can't read.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Tamia has been collecting books.
COVID.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. So shout out to Tamia. We tried to fly her in to see,
one of our guests.
Make it. Yes, she couldn't make it, but so with that being said, do we have any final?
I just want to say there was an incident of apparently airplanes colliding and running off the tarmac in Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
All this stuff is happening. These planes are falling apart because of deregulation, because of the Trump administration.
Yes.
And
Great
so I think it's also important when we're talking about politics and stuff.
Yes.
That these things actually impact our lives. There's been a hysteria recall.
Yes.
People can't drink apple juice anymore. He's
I got a fridge. I got
Candy.
some
I heard candy's being recalled.
what's
wrong with apple juice?
Basically, Trump, when he was the president, deregulated a lot of stuff because he said we needed business to be, competitive, and now it's competitive because they're not cleaning like they're supposed to. They're not debugging things, and now they're just germs.
I mean, I've eaten crickets before.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
So my final word is: if you are in Pittsburgh this Sunday, and if you're one of those people who likes to come into Pittsburgh for events, there is the End of Summer Social right here in Pittsburgh and Wilkinsburg, being hosted by Future is Black.
Oh, dope.
Shout out to them. It's going to be performances. There's different tiers. There's going to be spa treatments. There's going to be a puff and paint tier. It's going to be really dope. And I think you should pull up.
Yes, and then our very own Artivist Academy, our first Artivist Academy showcase for this iteration of our Artivist Academy with London Williams and Isis Archer will be this Friday, 7 p.m., 6 p.m.
7 p.m.
It's called
Friday.
6. Oh yeah,
95 degrees.
Hopefully it won't be 95 degrees. Matching tattoos. So come on out to see that. It's free. Just sign up for the Eventbrite. Anything else happening?
Someone's having a birthday.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Yeah.
When you find that person, wish him happy birthday.
Yeah,
but I would also like to say that jaguars have the strongest bite force of any cat.
Okay.
So don't
fuck with a jaguar.
Don't go eat a jaguar. Leave that jaguar alone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotcha.
That's the type of cat you want to. The cat that bites back.
Oh
wow.
Like a little bite to your cat.
Just holds.
Like a little bite.
Yes,
little bite
I do.
to
As
your
a matter of
cat.
fact, yeah.
Oh, God.
Grits.
With that being said,
I keep thinking about Earth the King and Boomerang. Marcus.
You have been watching This Week in White Supremacy. We'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll be well rested. Peace, y'all. One hood.